Well, hello there my little goldies and welcome back to my channel. As you can probably hear, I am still a little bit sick. Still got a little bit of a croaky nature to my voice, and the cough just wants to hold on and hold on and hold on. Plus a little bit of weakness is going on still yet, but this flu, I'm telling you what, like, for those of you that have had this flu this year, you guys can attest to the fact that it totally kicks your butt. It certainly did mine. I mean, it's been going on like almost 2 weeks now. It'll be like, I don't know, 2 weeks Wednesday really, so that I started coming down with it. So, I mean, it just really holds on. But I do have quite a bit to talk about today. This is going to be mostly a journaling video. Well, actually, it is going to be a journaling video. So those of you that come to watch my coloring stuff, I understand if you don't want to watch this, if you're not into the whole journaling thing. But I did want to go ahead and put this up because I did get a few requests to continue my little journal flip throughs and stuff, and so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to talk about the journal, the journal that I'm using now versus the Hobonichi that I did last year. So let me just show you what I have this year. Now, this is my this is what I'm calling my Omni Journal, okay? And an Omni Journal basically is a place to put anything and everything, like anything and everything goes. Like an Omni Journal is basically a journal that has several different elements, okay? So you can do writing, or you can do pictures. Okay, sit. You can do writing, or you can do pictures. You can do like washi tape with collaging. You can do like, you know, swatches or whatever. So I mean, basically an Omni Journal is anything and everything that has like more than one element to it. Now I'm doing mine very similar to what I did with my Hobonichi. And I decided to go with this kind of journal because let me just show you the Hobonichi here a little bit, and let me just talk about that. Now the Hobonichi is a book. It was mainly designed to be a planner, but this is a book that is, it has the Tomoe River paper in it. As we can see here, it's a Tomoe River paper journal. And so what I did was, you know, I have a lot of writing plus pictures and stuff in it that I did. Now, the reason why I am not using a Hobonichi this year, and don't get me wrong, I love my Hobonichi, but let me just show you what goes on here. So in the front of the Hobonichi book, there's like, like I said, it was meant to be a planner, but there's like monthly pages. Now this is the one from 2015, or 2016, I mean. I'm not showing the one from 2017 because I'm actually quite embarrassed about how little I actually got done in that book, okay? But it starts out with monthly planning pages, and then you go over here to weeklies. And, you know, basically, like, I didn't even use like the first half of this book because I had my monthly stuff in a different book, and as you can see, the days for the weekly is very tiny, and so I really just basically had no use for this layout. So basically, the only part of the book that I used was like the second half of the book, and as you can see, there are some blank pages in here because I didn't get everything done. I didn't get all of the days done, and as you can tell, there's only one page per day in here. Okay, so there's two reasons that I decided to go ahead and switch up. Now, number one is you only get 1 day per page, and so if you wanted to do more, you were kind of limited with that because you only got like 1 day to do whatever that you wanted for your day, 1 page to do whatever for your day. Plus, if you don't do that day, like if you let a day go by, you're in a sense, you're basically wasting that page because you don't have anything down for that day. So because this is a predated journal, how do I put this? Because it's a predated journal, if you don't do that day, it's pretty much wasted, and so you got this beautiful paper that you haven't used because you didn't do that particular day, and I felt bad about that. So I've come to the hard conclusion that this everyday thing, this everyday like predated thing just isn't for me. Like I tried to do one of those like 5-year question journals, and it just didn't. Oh, my table got a little sticky. Ew. How did that happen? I'm gonna wipe that up a little bit. Holy smoke. I'm filming on my kitchen table, and so when I do that, I usually, you know, I like to make sure that I wipe it, and I usually get everything, but I had a little sticky place here. Ugh. Okay. So anyways, I was saying, I've come to the hard conclusion that doing this everyday thing, a predated journal, is not for me, because there's days that I let slip by and then I find myself just getting very, very behind, and then it's just overwhelming to try to catch up. I tried to use one of those like five-year question journals, and I couldn't keep up with it every day. So I decided that I needed more of a blank canvas. Now, I do still do my written journal. You know, I still do my strictly written journal, which I don't share because it's got some very personal stuff in it. But a journal like a Hobonichi, I don't mind sharing because it's more of like my creative outlet and stuff. So anyway, what I decided to do, and this cover, now the blue cover I have here is just a blue one that came in the Hobonichi store in 2016. Now this cover here was in the Hobonichi store last year. This is the Lucy Locket cover. And I got this and a bunch of other covers last year. I didn't get anything from the Hobonichi store this year because I had plenty of covers, and I decided to go ahead and do this this other type of journal. So with this journal here, now let me just open this up here, and I have in the pockets here just some stickers and stuff that I will eventually put in this journal. But basically this journal is a 7 Seas writer from Nanami paper. Okay, so this is a 7 Seas writer from Nanami paper, and let me just move, let's see, I'm just moving the camera just slightly. So this is a journal from Nanami paper, and I decided to go ahead and do this. Now it's got the same type of paper as the Hobonichi, but let me just turn to some pages that I haven't used yet. With the Hobonichi you get grid paper, and it's cream color. With this, it's white paper and it's blank. So this is a total blank canvas here. So there's nothing on it. There's no pre-date, there's no dates, there's no there's no grid, there's no lines or anything. It's just a blank canvas where you can you know, where you can do what you want in this particular journal. Okay, so I decided that this is going to be more to my liking, I think, more to my capabilities, I guess, because I don't have to worry about dates, and I can use more than one page per day if I want to. So this gives me a lot more freedom, plus I don't have to worry about like weekly pages or monthly pages and stuff. I can actually use this whole journal without having pages go to waste, because I don't have to do this every day, and when I come back to it, I can just go where I left off, and I don't have to worry about trying to find the particular day that it's going to go with. So yeah, that's why I decided to use this type of journal, because it gives me a lot more freedom. It's not as limiting as the Hobonichi. Don't get me wrong, I love the Hobonichi. I love watching Hobonichi flip-throughs, but I just felt that this Omni Journal type thing is going to allow me more freedom and a lot more space to do what I want to do with it. Plus, I don't have to worry about wasting paper if I don't do it every day. So I am liking this a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a flip through of this, what I have so far, because I have a lot to show you guys. And like I said, I was requested to do a lot more of these journal flip throughs, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'll do it as often as I can, like when I actually have quite a bit to show. I did not start this thing at the beginning of the year. Actually, I let some time go by, but I did start it on January 25th, and I've journaled all the way up to yesterday. So I will be doing a flip through of that. But before I do that, I do have a little haul that I'm going to show you guys. It's a journaling haul. It's just a tiny, tiny little haul with just a couple of items, but it is Harry Potter related. So I'm just going to show you what I got here. And this came from Amazon. So this first journal that I have here is the Slytherin journal. This is from the Harry Potter theme park, from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Now, I do have one of these journals, and if you watched my journal collection as of, I think it was last year, you will see that I actually have all of the journals in this collection. There's one for each house: Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin. I got an extra Slytherin journal because the Slytherin journal that I do have, I am using it as a character journal. I will do another video where I talk about character journals because I was requested to do that. So I'll save that for another video. But I decided to go ahead and get another Slytherin journal so that I would have it to write in for, you know, my own journaling. Of course, the character diaries, of course, are written by me, but just as different characters. But anyway, because when I decide that I'm going to use this, I'm going to do more of a series. Like, I'm going to kind of do like one right after the other. Probably starting out with the Hogwarts journal. There's Hogwarts. It's got there's one with the Hogwarts crest. There's Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin. So there's like 5 journals in this collection. And so when I decide to use these are going to be done like one right after the other. But let me just show you what this looks like inside. It's more of a 5x7 journal, I think. You got the end papers in here, and here's what it looks like on the back of it, or in the back inside cover. You got the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and then you just get the blank cover like on the back. But this paper, now it's a blank journal, but it's got greenish pages, and this journal is just, I love, love, love the paper in these journals. I mean, it's thick, smooth, and just perfect, 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 I think, for fountain pen use. So I'm gonna enjoy using that journal when I get to those journals. Excuse the coughing a little bit. Now this next thing that I'm gonna show you guys, and again, I got this from Amazon. Okay guys, I am back. Now I decided to go ahead and switch tripods because I was using my little tabletop tripod, which is a little bit easier to deal with, but it just wasn't getting everything in the frame. So I decided to stop the video and actually just get my big one, because that way I can, that way you guys can see everything. So anyway, like I was saying, the second item that I'm going to show you guys is this little gem here, and this is I think called a Harry Potter pensive gift set or something like that. I will link everything in the description section on Amazon so that you can look at that if you want to. But let me just show you what's inside here. This is actually quite interesting. I'd seen this on somebody else's video that does journaling, and I can't remember who it was, but I thought it was just the neatest thing. And of course, I am such a Harry Potter fan, so I had to have it. But there's a little clasp that closes it, and then you pull it over to open it up. So it kind of opens up like the Pensieve in Dumbledore's office. But let me just show you everything that we have in here. Okay, so we have 2 of these things, and these are like little Pensieve vials. It's like a, if you're familiar with the Harry Potter series, this is what these things are, what the memories, you know, go in for the Pensieve. And as you can see, and I think there's, I'm not sure if there's like a piece of paper in it or something, but, or if it's painted on, but as you can see, the white thing is to resemble the strands of memory. If you're familiar with the Harry Potter series, read book, when did the Pensieve show up? In, I think the 4th book is when it first started showing up, but they used it a lot. That's Goblet of Fire, but they used it a lot in book 6, which is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So anyway, these are what the memories are stored in when, you know, when you're gonna look at them in the Pensieve. And so it's got like little vials with the little stoppers that come off of it. And there's 2 of them in this little set. And the lids, I'm not real crazy about the lids because they don't want to stay on very well. So here is the second one, and it's exactly the same as what we saw with the first one. You get the little white thing on there, and I don't know if that actually comes out. It might be affixed to the vial itself. So it's kind of like a cute little decoration thing, okay? And then over here you get this, you get a pen. If I can get it out of here, you get a little wand pen, okay? And so it, let me see if I can get it out. Okay, so it's a little pen that's shaped like a wand. Okay, here it is right there. And I think this is supposed to be, Dumbledore's wand. So it's got a little lid on it, and then you just pop it off, and it's a ballpoint pen. Nothing real major. So it's kind of neat that they included this in here. You can actually write with this pen if you like in this journal. You have to kind of push it in there so it'll click. But anyway, getting to the best part, let me just grab this out of here. This is, as you can see on the front here, this is what the Pensieve looks like if you're gonna like you bend over it, and then you bend over it, and it kind of feels like it takes you inside so you can look at the memories. But let me show you what this journal looks like. Okay. So here are the lovely end papers. It's a hardbound journal. It's really, really nice. Okay. And then here is the back of it. There's no pocket or anything in it. I don't know how many pages are in it per se. Okay, whoops. But here is what it looks like. You get a little bit of a you get a little bit of an explanation about the book and about what a pensieve is and stuff right there. Get a little introduction, and then here are the lines that you write in. Okay, and the paper in it is pretty thick. It's actually quite nice. I think it would be really good for fountain pens. I think you could probably get away with using fountain pens in it. And then it's also got little quotes in it. As you go on, you can see that it's got little quotes in it from the series. So here is what this little set looks like, and I actually really like it. I think it's really cool, and it's just kind of a neat little. It's just kind of a neat little collector's item, and if you're a huge Harry Potter fan like I am, it's just kind of a neat little thing to have. So I actually really like it. I don't see what use that these little vials are going to be, but it's just kind of neat. It's just kind of a neat little decoration, and the pen I probably won't use because I am definitely into my fountain pens, but it's just kind of a neat little, ouch, just pinched my finger on it, a neat little thing to have, and yeah, I really like it. So that's my little Harry Potter haul, my little Harry Potter journaling haul that I wanted to go ahead and show you guys. But let's go ahead and get on with the journal flip through. And let me just show you what's inside the covers here. Like I said, here I have stickers that I've cut out that's actually going to go into this journal eventually. And then in the back here, I have a writing board that I got from the Hobonichi store. This is the one that came with it last year in the Hobonichi store. And then in here is just a little notebook with Tomoe River paper in it in case I need to write something down. So I do keep something like that in there. I haven't used it yet, but it is there for when I need it. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our journal flip through. So this is my Omni Journal starting January 25th of 2018. And then this book will be used... and I got pages that are bent at the corners here, not good. So this book will be used until it is filled up. Okay. Okay, so I had said that I started this on the 25th, but this was actually the 24th, which was Wednesday, I think. Yeah, it was Wednesday, January 24th. So anyway, we had been thinking about getting rid of our landline. We decided that we were going to get rid of the satellite TV, you know, the direct TV, and then get a Roku to do streaming TV because it's a lot cheaper. I mean, we were paying like 130 bucks for, you know, just direct TV alone, which was satellite. And we decided to go ahead and get rid of that, but we were also contemplating getting rid of our landline. So we had, you know, we'd been talking about that and discussing that. What we eventually decided to do was just go ahead and keep it because it wasn't that expensive, and it kept our internet pricing down. But I hated the fact that, you know, because when I talked to them, I hated the fact that when I asked them about it, that if we were to get rid of both DirecTV and the landline, the internet would shoot up. So they still really know how to get you. We have stuff through AT&T, and it gets annoying that you get rid of one service and they're still going to jack it up. But anyway, long story short, you know, kind of going forward in time, we did get rid of the DirecTV. We kept the landline and the internet, of course, and they were able to give us a promotional. So those prices are still going to remain the same for the next year, which is awesome. So we're not going to have jacked up prices, which is great. And we got our Roku. And we got the Roku, and so we've been using that, which we're really liking. So anyway, we'd been contemplating getting rid of the landline, and then I decided to go ahead and subscribe to DirecTV Now, which is a streaming TV service that that I think is offered by, you know, it's like DirecTV, but it's You probably don't get as much as what you do with the satellite stuff, but that's good because I didn't want like all the sports and stuff. So I decided to go ahead and subscribe to that, and I'm trying that out until the end of February. And I really like it. And I was actually able to add HBO and stuff so that I could watch Game of Thrones, which I will be getting into shortly. So anyway, I had also played The Sims 3. I actually got a video up on my Sims channel. If you look in the description section of my video, you can go to my Sims channel and watch me play stuff like Sims 3 if you so choose. Okay, so flipping the page over. So because I added that service, I decided to go ahead and get HBO. I had not had HBO up until now. So I decided to get it so that I could watch Game of Thrones, and I was just talking about that I was on the first season. I'm actually a latecomer to the series, but I'd started the first book, and I started watching the first series of Game of Thrones, and I was just talking about how, my gosh, I was just so sad over like what happened with Ned Stark and Drogo, called Drogo, that Daenerys was married to. I felt so bad that he died the way he did. I was really pissed. And one thing I'm discovering, you know, while watching Game of Thrones and reading the books and stuff is you don't want to get too attached to a character because most of them are going to end up dead. I don't think there's going to be too many survivors. So moving on to, not the next day, but moving on to Saturday. So as you can see, like I went from Wednesday to Saturday, but I could do that because this book is a blank canvas like I was talking about earlier in the video. Had I been doing this on my Hobonichi page, I would have had like several blank pages that I didn't use, and so it just would have been a waste of paper. But anyway, on Saturday we had a cabinet meeting with the Lions Club. And a cabinet meeting is basically a meeting with all the district officers to vote on things that we need to vote on and stuff, and to go over that business and stuff. But not too many people showed up. So the governor, the district governor, now he's the guy that is kind of the head honcho of the district for that year. That's the highest office that you can get as a district level. I had that office in 2010 and 2011. But anyway, the district governor this year that, you know, he runs the meetings and stuff, he wasn't very happy because of the poor attendance because we didn't have a quorum, so which meant that we couldn't really vote on any official business. We just went over the reports and stuff and just kind of did our thing, but we couldn't really get too much done because if you don't have enough people to vote, you can't really vote on anything. So he wasn't very happy about that. And then when I got home, I decided to start watching Top Chef Junior. I love Top Chef, and then they came out with this Top Chef Junior, which is the kids version of it, that is hosted by Curtis Stone. And I am just really, really super amazed at what these kids can do, because, I mean, the kids, like, I didn't really start cooking until I was like 13, and half of what they're cooking, I mean, I have no idea what the heck it is. So, I mean, I am just super amazed at just what these kids can do. And, I mean, just super, super talented kids. Okay, so on Sunday, I had rehearsal and with our choral group, and I must have like the bad juju or something because, again, we didn't have too many people that showed up. It was kind of like our Lions meeting where we didn't have too many people that showed up, and then rehearsal we didn't have too many that showed up. So George, our choral director, he wasn't very happy about that, which I can understand that because, I mean, we have a concert in just a little bit over a month, and you know, we still have a lot of work to do on the pieces. So he wasn't very happy about not too many people showing up, which I can understand that. So anyway, I got home and I watched more Top Chef Junior. It was cold, so I just crawled under the covers and just did that. Okay, so then on Monday, I just pretty much took it easy, and I watched episodes of, or not watched, but I love like old time radio, and I love like old time radio, and there's a show called The Whistler, which is a mystery program. It's mainly like murder mysteries, but you kind of know who the killer is going to be, but at the end there's always a little twist that tells like how the killer was caught. So it's kind of a different approach to it. You know who the bad guy is, but you get like a little twist at the end to show how they were caught and stuff. So I was listening to episodes of that while just kind of chilling and stuff. The Roku came in that day as well, so I got that hooked up. So the next day, or not the next day, but the next page here, Now, you're going to see that I kind of got this a little tangled up here. Sometimes when I'm putting these stickers down, and if it's a bigger sticker, it kind of bunches up, and I was trying to get it straightened out, and it kind of turned out to be a mess. But this is like Roku heaven. So these are just some of the things that you can get on the Roku. There's stuff like Netflix, HBO Now, there's like Amazon Prime Video. So I grabbed this picture with just all different kinds of stuff that you can get on the Roku, which was awesome. Okay, so then also on that Monday, I put a picture of my Cuisinart grill. I got one of those like Cuisinart griddler things. You can use it, it's like an electric griddle kind of thing. And anyway, I got that out because I was going to make myself one of those like little panini sandwiches that you can do in it. Well, I got it out, and one of my grill plates was just all sticky. It was a sticky mess, and I don't know how the heck that happened. About the best way I can figure it out is my daughter used it some time back and didn't bother to clean it up after she was done. And so the stuff that was on it, it had the consistency of like tar or honey. It was just an absolute mess, and I could not get that stuff off for anything, and it got all over my hands as I was trying to scrub it. So basically what I ended up having to do was I took some vegetable oil and smeared it on there. That kind of helped a little bit. Smeared it all over my hands. It kind of helped a little bit. Ended up having to take some laundry soap and try that. I mean, it was just everywhere, just all over my grill plate, all over my hands. I was extremely pissed, let me tell you, because, I mean, like, I don't mind that she uses stuff, but, you know, if she's going to use it, she needs to put it back the way it was and not leave things all dirty. But anyway, so I was a very angry mama, let me tell you. So then after that, I decided to grab a glass of wine because, man, I needed it after that. As pissed as I was, I needed it after that. So anyway, I told my husband about it, and when he came home, he did a little bit of work on it too. He did his own little scrubbing on it and was able to actually get most of that off of there, which was good. And then we got the rest off like the next day. So my grill is now clean, but ugh, let me tell you, it was an absolute nightmare. Okay, so then on the next day, which is Tuesday the 30th, I got up and had my cappuccino, like usual. John has his espresso. I usually have cappuccino. So we did that in the morning. And then my Mac computer, I was trying to type up a report that I had to submit for I'm a committee chair for one of the committees that we have for the Board of Trustees that I sit on. And so I had to type up this report. Well, as I was doing that, my computer shut down because it needed to update, and I didn't tell it not to. And so I'm sitting there typing away, and then all of a sudden my computer just shuts off. I'm like, what the heck? So I was kind of pissed about that. And it took a little bit to update because it had been a while since it updated. And I'm going, oh man, I hope that I didn't lose a bunch of my work, because I almost had the thing done. And I would have been just super pissed if I would have lost all of that, because it was a long report and it was taking me quite a bit to do. But once the computer updated and everything turned back on, it recovered the document as it turned out. That I was typing it, you know, so I didn't lose any of my work, which is awesome. I love the Mac for that. So it kind of, I guess, saves as it goes, like on the cloud. So that was great that I didn't lose any of my work, and I was able to get that report submitted and off to where it needed to go. And then later in the day, I watched some Smurfs. I tested it out on my Roku through the Amazon Prime app. The Amazon Prime Video app. I tested it out on the Roku, and of course, being that it's an old show, I couldn't get it in high def, which is okay. I was still able to watch it on my big TV, and I was in the mood to watch some Smurfs. I needed something kind of silly after the stress of the last couple of days and stuff, you know, with the sticky grill, with the sticky grill, and then trying to get that report done. So I needed something silly to watch. And then down here, I have a picture of this ahi tuna. I didn't have it that day, but I had never tried ahi tuna before. And the place that John took me for my birthday, it was kind of a newer restaurant. Well, I don't know how new it was. I guess it was kind of newer, but we got a gift certificate for it for Christmas from John's boss. So John took me to dinner there at this restaurant, and there was an ahi tuna appetizer, and I decided to try it because I had never tried it before. And ahi tuna is kind of a more expensive fish, I guess, but it was good. I really highly, highly enjoyed it. So I also played some piano tiles that day, and I was just talking about how I needed to get more crowns because I'm trying to catch up with my friend Brenda. She'd been playing that game for quite a long time. You guys have heard me talk about Brenda. She's like my friend that I met when we were getting our first guide dogs together back in '92. Well, we didn't meet until we got to class, but we got our first guide dogs at the same time. And then we ended up in the same class when she went for her third and I went for Alex. But anyway, she'd been playing this game for quite a long time and told me about it. So I've been working on trying to get my crowns so I could try to catch up with her. She was still a long ways ahead of me though, so I have a lot of work to do to get caught up with her, if I ever do. And then also that day I also played My Singing Monsters, which is another game. And this is the type of game that you got to be kind of careful though, because they encourage you to do like in-app purchases, and so it can be kind of a money pit if you're not careful. It's one of those games that's kind of like Farmville, where you kind of have to wait for things to get done, or you can use your diamonds or whatever to speed things up. So it's kind of one of those games where it's not, if you're an impatient person, you can get frustrated with it, but the monsters are really, really super cute, and as you play them, they sing, and there's like a little song that they do. It's kind of like a little band, but the monsters are really cute. So I do enjoy playing that game, and I was talking about how I got enough relics. Relics are a type of currency in the game that I was able to get one of the talking monsters, which is the Parlsona, I think she's called, and so she's really cute. She actually sings words where there's like two of the monsters that sing words, but they're kind of hard to get. But the other monsters, they play like little instruments and stuff. And but this monster that I was talking about here sings words, and so I was finally able to get her, which is awesome. And then later in the day, now I put a picture of myself with Alex and Caleb. I didn't walk them like this. This was done like a while back ago, but they were acting a fool. Like, they love to play. Those two, Caleb and Alex, man, they love to play. And so they were just acting a fool. So I didn't have, I decided to put this picture in there because it always makes me smile. But yeah, they were playing a lot that day. And of course, when they play together, they always get like slobbery ears and tangled fur. So then I have to brush them, and then they go play again. And so then I have to brush them again because they're all slobbery. And yeah, it's kind of a never-ending vicious circle. But, they have a good time doing it. So yeah. And then I had some wine that night with John in the bedroom. We just kind of sit and talk and do that. And then I've just put a picture of my bed here. It says, live to relax, because I just love relaxing on the bed and watching movies and stuff on my iPad. So then the next day, let's see, what day was this? The next day, Wednesday the 31st, I was watching quite a bit of YouTube videos. Mainly about, I usually watch coloring videos and journaling videos, but I decided to watch some cooking videos. And because there's a couple of little gadgets that I actually want to get, which I have pictured here. I'll talk about that in a minute. So I was watching quite a lot of YouTube videos about how to cook different things in these little gadgets. And this gadget here is a Philips air fryer, and this gadget here is the Consori, what is it? 8-in-1 multi-purpose thing. It's got it can be used as a crock pot, a rice steamer, a pressure cooker, and some other stuff in there. But I would love to get these two things, to cook things in. I don't have a deep fryer because we don't really like to deep fry anything because it's not the healthiest thing. And this just does it with just a little tiny bit of oil and air. And so I want to get one of those and try that because it still fries things, but it does it in a lot healthier manner. And then my poor old crock pot that I have, it still works, but boy, it had a lot of love, let me tell you. So I want to get a new one to replace it, and I want to get something like this because you can do more stuff with it. So I've been watching quite a bit of videos on how to cook different things in these two gadgets. I decided to watch a couple of films. Yeah, I decided to watch a couple of films. I started not feeling well. I started to come down. I thought it was going to be a cold, but it turned out to be the flu. So anyway, I was just kind of laying in bed and just relaxing because I wasn't feeling very well. And so I watched a movie called Switched at Birth, and it had Bonnie Bedelia in it. This came out in the 90s, and it was based on a true story about two babies that were switched at birth. And so I was watching that, and let me just pull this down just a little bit. I was watching that, and I'd actually found it on YouTube, so I pulled it up and was watching that. It had been like almost 20 years since I had seen that, or over 20 years since I had seen that, so I decided to watch that again. And then I also started watching the Baby M TV miniseries. This was done in the 80s, and this was also based on a true story. It was about a surrogate mother who changed her mind and wanted the baby back, and so she and the couple that the baby was supposed to go to had a really long custody battle for the baby. And so it turned out to be just, I guess, a really sad situation. And same thing with this Kimberly Mays, like, you know, the girl that this was about. I guess she, you know, like, she kind of had it rough, like, as a young woman. Like, she had quite a few problems and stuff. And probably a lot of it kind of came because of what happened to her. And then the Baby M case, you know, it was just a long drawn out thing. And but I guess from what I read, the baby, you know, she's like now, you know, in her 30s, I guess. And because this was, you know, she was born like in 86 or something like that. And so she I guess divorced herself from her natural mother. And so now she, you know, she of course loves her father and his wife. And so she just wanted to just have ties with them. So she went to court to do that, I guess, you know, from what I read. So then I said here, flu season ahead, because I started not feeling well at all. So I was just talking about like how I was feeling and how I was getting a sore throat and starting to cough and getting the body aches and stuff. And John had it like Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I started getting it Wednesday and started to feel just really, really awful. So by the time Thursday rolled around, I was feeling just super, super, super awful. I started to get the chills. So I put a picture of a bed in here and shivering under the covers because I had the chills so bad. And I was coughing and my whole body just ached. It was really, really bad. It was terrible. It was terrible. So I pretty much just stayed in bed all day. I was supposed to go to a Lions Club meeting that night, but not feeling well. I couldn't go. So John went because he was feeling quite a bit better. So I did not go, and in fact just stayed home. And because I wasn't feeling well, I decided to go ahead and start a new book. I started reading the Game of Thrones. I had gotten through the first season as I showed you over here, so I decided to go ahead and start reading the book. Normally I will read the books first before I watch a movie or a TV show, but I decided to go ahead and watch the first season because I still had that trial for the DirecTV Now. But I started reading Game of Thrones while I was just relaxing and shivering under the covers in bed. So then Friday, more shivering under the covers. I was really, really feeling awful. So I stayed in bed most of the day as much as I could, but I still had to get up because I had a Lions meeting that weekend, and it was an overnighter. It was an overnighter, so I had to go because I'm on the executive committee, and I am a committee chair for one of the committees that we have, and so I had a big long report to do, plus I am president of one of the entities, I guess, call it. So I actually had to run one of the meetings. So I had quite a bit to do on Saturday. So I really wanted to stay home, but I couldn't. I actually had to go and do my part. So I was just talking about how I had to get up and get ready to go to that. We had the executive committee meeting, and it was one of the probably the shortest executive committee meeting that we had, which is awesome because then I was able to go back to the hotel room and just relax and just get under the covers because I was still feeling chilled and I was coughing like crazy and stuff. And as you can see, I couldn't even write in a straight line that night. Yeah. So then Saturday came around and the actual meeting happened, and oh my gosh, like I was so miserable getting up that day. And not only did I still have the chills, not only did I still have the cough and the sore throat and everything, you know, that went along with that flu, but we were playing Revolt of the Tummy. So not only did I have everything else, but then I started to get really nauseous. So I also had the tummy affected. And I got up in the morning and I think I was dehydrated because I was feeling really, really thirsty. So I'd gotten a little bit of water and, you know, I thought everything was going to be okay. But as I got up to get in the shower, the tummy started to roil. The tummy just started to roll and just jump, and it just didn't feel good at all. So I'm going, oh my God, I just don't feel good. And so needless to say, the water came up. And so I figured that I wasn't going to be able to keep anything down. I did try to, we always take some Pepto-Bismol with us because one time we were on a trip and something that John ate just didn't agree with him. So he needed some pink stuff. So we always take some pink stuff with us. And so I got done getting ready and I decided to take a little bit of pink stuff to try to, you know, settle the tummy, right? Well, bad idea because it came up too. So yeah, we had like a little break between meetings. Thankfully, the meeting that I had to run, we did first. And then I was not feeling well at all. So the pink stuff came up. And then they were so nice to me, actually. I had gone back into one of those like little alcoves. I thought I was going through a door to get to the restrooms, but I went through the wrong door and things came up on me. And so there were a couple of staff members back there. They brought me a garbage can and we got all the mess cleaned up. It wasn't very much or anything because I didn't have too much in there, just a little bit of pink stuff. But they were very nice to me about it, you know, and they're like, oh, we hope you feel better. And so because I wasn't feeling well, we were able to switch the agenda a little bit and I was able to do my long report first off. Normally that happens later in the day, but they were really nice to me about it. So they went ahead and let me do everything I needed to do first, and then I could go back to the room to relax a little bit. So they were super nice to me about that. So they're like, I was leaving the room and they're like, feel better, Sharon, feel better. You know, so they were super nice about it. And, but you know what? Lions Club people are nice. So yeah, it didn't surprise me, but it was just really nice. And, you know, just to see that much concern for me and stuff, you know, that was just really, really nice. So then we got back home that day. We were able to leave on Saturday afternoon, and I was able to rest up a little bit, you know, so I felt a little bit better, but I was still not you know, I still wasn't going to press the tummy or anything like that. You know, I still felt awful, but at least I didn't have the chills as much, and the stomach kind of calmed down just a little bit, or so I thought, which I will get to that in a minute. But anyway, we got home, and so I got comfy and just kind of fell into bed and just crawled under the covers and fell into bed. So then I watched, I turned on a movie and just watched The Butterfly Effect. And yeah, so that killed some time and was able to kind of keep my mind off of it. And then of course I fell asleep. So then on Sunday, which was the next day, I did a video. This is the Balin colored pencil giveaway results video that I did. So I picked, you know, I got my winners picked, and of course here are our winners. We have Shalene, we have Corey Scherer, and we have Caitlin Grigsby, and also, oh gosh, who was the other one? Annette Sonneson. So I had my winners picked, and so those ladies contacted me, and I still have to get those pencils out to you guys, which I will do. Have to get hubby to get me some shipping supplies, but I went ahead and made that video. So that's on my channel. I was still feeling quite awful though, so I had that creaky, squeaky voice, but yeah, I was still feeling quite awful. Still in the middle of that flu, but I did need to get that video up, so I went ahead and did that. And then Revolt of the Tummy Part 2 started. And so I I will just say that it kind of took a little bit of a different direction. Things were coming up, but it took a little bit of a different direction. I don't think I need to elaborate. So I pretty much just confined myself to just eating some chicken soup. You know how it is. You know, they say chicken soup is the cure-all for everything. So that was about the only thing that I could stomach. And of course, thank goodness the bathroom was nearby. And then that day too, I turned on another movie and watched The Butterfly Effect 2. Now, it said that this one here, it got some bad reviews, I guess, this Butterfly Effect 2. And that I guess a couple of the critics said it really wasn't watchable. But you know what, like, I didn't mind it. No, it's not as good as the first one, but I still really enjoyed that movie. It kind of ended sad. It had kind of a sad ending, but you know, it was still an enjoyable movie for me. I don't mind it at all. I actually enjoy that movie. So then Monday, the next day, it was still more relaxing in bed because I still felt really awful. Still had the aches and the weakness. You know what? Like the weakness, the fatigue and the weakness was really what got me that, and the cough. I didn't have the chills anymore, but just that weakness just really kicked my butt. And the cough just still wanted to hold on, so it was really bad. So more relaxing in bed. Turned on my Game of Thrones book and got quite a bit read in that one for that day. And then that night we had Revolt of the Tummy Part 3 because the tummy was still acting up. So again, we stayed close to the bathroom, more chicken soup, and then I watched The Butterfly Effect 3. I figured when I had seen these movies like several different times, but when I watch them, I like to watch one right after the other. This time I didn't do it all in one day, but I did go ahead and watch one right after the other. This one here was being on that Monday. So on Tuesday, more Game of Thrones while relaxing in bed. I was starting to feel a little bit better though. I think the tummy kind of calmed down quite a bit because I was actually able to eat some solid food. I hadn't really been able to eat solid food since like Friday. But John brought home some chicken. Our local grocery store does fried chicken. So we had the chicken and it came with potatoes and some coleslaw. So I did that. And that actually tasted pretty good. And things stayed down. Things stayed where they should have stayed. So, which is great. So I was actually able to eat again because I think that would help with the weakness and stuff because I was still feeling very weak. So Wednesday, the next day, which was the 7th, more Game of Thrones. I think I actually finished that book that day. And then later on in the day, I got caught up on Top Chef and Hell's Kitchen. I watched the finale, and I was really pleased with how the finale of Hell's Kitchen came out. And this gal, Michelle, won. Hell's Kitchen this season was an all-star, so Michelle was on there before. And so I was really happy with how that came out. I was really glad that she won. And then there's another chick on there named Elise who was a royal bitch, let me tell you. And so I was so glad that Michelle won because then she could throw it up in Elise's face, you know. And so that was pretty cool. And I always said karma's a bitch because Elise just wasn't very nice to anybody. I don't know what she's like in real life, but on the show, she was one of those that you just love to hate. So, but anyway, but Michelle handled her really well when in the finale because Elise was on her team. And so I have to hand it to Michelle for handling Elise very well in the finale. So then we skip ahead a few days to Saturday, which was the 10th. And I'm still feeling quite awful, so I just relaxed in bed a little bit more. Man, I spent so much time in my bed over the last like 10 days or so, but yeah. So anyway, I watched The Thinning, which was a YouTube Red original, I guess. But I was able to actually find this on iTunes, so I got it on iTunes because I don't have YouTube Red. I'm not going to buy YouTube Red, so I had to wait for the film to actually come out to be released elsewhere so that I could watch it. So they hyped it all up, you know, when it was first coming out, and it was okay. I guess it got quite a few bad reviews and stuff. Like a lot of the critics, I guess, didn't like it. And I guess I can see why. I thought it would be a lot better than it was. I was kind of disappointed in it. And I was saying maybe I'll watch it again and maybe get a little bit more enjoyment out of it, like maybe when I'm feeling a little bit better. But I have it. I will probably watch it again to see what my reaction is going to be the second time through. And then I also watched Gerald's Game by Stephen King. I had read the book years ago, and I hadn't realized that they made it into a film, but I found it on Netflix, and so I was able to watch Gerald's Game on Netflix. And there's quite a few differences between the book and the movie, but it was still very enjoyable. I did like the book. I can't say that it's one of my favorites, but I did like it. And the film was enjoyable and creepy. It was very creepy, but you know, Stephen King, he does write creepy stuff, so that's what it was supposed to be. Creepy. So then on that same day, I listened to more episodes of The Whistler. When I wasn't in the mood to watch movies, I did listen to some more of The Whistler. That's an old-time radio program. Old-time radio is what was on the radio before TV came into existence. So this was one of the programs that was on there. And it's a mystery program, as I was saying before in the video. It's a mystery program, but you know who did the deed, but there's always a little twist at the end to show how the killer was caught. Okay, so then I played more of my piano tiles, and I was talking about how I got more crowns in one day than I had gotten in any other day. I think I got like close to 40 crowns, I think, that day. They had added some new songs. You know, they're always updating the game and adding new songs to play. So, because I'd gotten so many crowns that day, I have hopes of actually catching Brenda. So I just may catch Brenda one of these days. So, I'd been working on that. Excuse me, still got the coughs a little bit. And then I played My Singing Monsters some more. And so I was just talking about how I needed to get more relics to try to get the next talking monster called Talker, T-A-W-K-E-R. So I am almost halfway there to being able to get him. Like I said, those talking monsters are hard to get because they are special monsters, so you kind of have to really work to get them. And then on Sunday, which was yesterday, I watched quite a bit of YouTube. I was just talking about the videos that I watched. I watched Shalene's latest video where she was coloring in her Hearts coloring book with her Luminance color pencils. And then I watched, who else did I watch? I watched Kate, yeah, from Kate's Coloring Haven. I watched her Twilight Garden ones. She did part 1 and part 2. And so I watched that and was listening to her chat. I love her. I mean, she is such a sweet person. And she gave me a little shout out because she'd known that I wasn't feeling well with the flu. I had responded to one of her, I'd left I think I did a reply or something to one of her comments and told her I was down with the flu. So she gave me a nice little shout out and sent me lots of love and hugs and said she hoped I was feeling better. So Kate, she's such a sweetheart, and I love listening to her. I mean, her voice, I mean, I could listen to her all day. I love Kate. And then I got halfway through Anne's video from A Colorful Life where she was coloring baby Snow White. But I started to fall asleep, so I had to kind of turn it off, and I'll have to finish it like maybe today or something, you know. Or, you know, like later on in the week or something. Sorry, Anne, I will finish that. I promise, I promise, I promise. It was just, I guess I still needed some sleep because I kept falling asleep that day. But yeah, I'm still trying to get over this stuff. So then I did some more of My Singing Monsters to get some more relics and stuff so I could get my little talking monster. And then I listened to more episodes of The Whistler. And then that evening, like during the day and that evening, I did some more piano tiles and I reached 900 crowns. As you can see, I tried to draw a crown. I'm not much of an artist in that way. I can't draw to save my soul, but I did try to draw a crown, and I said 900 crowns because I did manage to get 900 crowns. And so now I am only like 65 crowns behind Brenda. So if I work at it, I just may catch up with her. She's not been playing for a while, so she's kind of been staying the same with her numbers. But if I work at it, I just may catch her. So we just kind of have this like little friendly competition between us, you know, to see who can get the higher score on a song or something, you know. So yeah, I'm trying to catch Brenda, and I may do it if I keep working on it. We shall see. So yeah, that's my goal, is to catch Brenda. And I think that's all I have. Yes, that's all I have, because that's where my bookmark is. So that is the flip through of my Omni Journal as from January 24th up until yesterday. I don't have anything put in here for today, because I haven't done anything with it yet. But anyway, that is my Omni Journal flip through so far. I will do a new flip through when I have a lot more pages to show. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little journal flip through and seeing the and hearing my explanation about why I'm using this journal rather than a Hobonichi, and also seeing my little Harry Potter goodies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, like I said, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button, because that tells me that you appreciate what I do here. And also leave a comment and tell me what you think. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already, but better yet, hit that bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos, whether it's journaling videos or coloring videos or whatever I decided to put up here. Go ahead and do that. That really helps. And you all have a great day, and we will talk to you in the next video. Okay, bye my little goldies.